name is Jimmy Carson. I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York, born in Brooklyn, New York, raised in South Carolina. Uh, Life was pretty halfway decent. Uh,
Louder.
I'm the oldest of four. I look at myself as the black ball of the family because going to school was easy, but getting out of school, life became tough because I had to live on my own, and being on my own was like something I wasn't used to. I was always a mama's boy. But then I got started and got addicted to drugs, smoking crack. And that went out the window really fast. Family started shutting doors. Couldn't get family to support. I went to jail trying to keep my family from going homeless, and I wrote a bunch of checks, got a lot of prison time. As soon as I went to prison, they moved and went to California.
Why did you go to jail if you mind me asking, and then talk a little
Okay, I went to jail basically because at first I figured thought I had a system with the checks. I thought if I could write a check, before that check bounced, I cover it with another check. Even though I had money, I didn't have enough money never to cover a check all the way through. Even with the job, I started slipping on my job, and when I started slipping on my job, it became really really hard because the checks were so many of them. I just say, hey, they catch up with me later, and they did. They caught up with me, and when they did catch up with me, they gave me a lot of time.
But why did you write that first check?
The first check I wrote for my mom. I found out that my brother and sister, they were younger than me. My mom was about like 4 months behind in rent. I didn't know she had already made an exit plan. Her exit plan was California. I thought they was going to take in. My mom was going to try to catch the rent of me. She didn't. She just left me hanging in jail. I went to prison, and when I went to prison, man, it became like a real life experience because I knew then I was on my own. My mother never called me and never let me talk to her in prison. She never came to visit me. The only visit I ever got in prison was my grandmother. She came in prison and told me, I love you, grandson, but you have to do this on your own. Your mom gone. And after that, man, it was all downhill, for the next 10, 15 years in and out of prison, drug addictions, sales, just one thing after another. All my problems stem behind crack. It was the hardest drug in the world to get rid of, man. I couldn't shake it. It was one of them beasts that just kept on just eating me up. And I never did no violent crimes. I just did sales. I'd buy me a good amount of dope at one time and sell a little bit to keep supplying myself. But they call that jail, they call that sales, so then I became known as a dope dealer. And I was only trying to supply my own needs. So after I think I got out of prison, and I met this lady, and I met this lady in prison through a friend, and we ended up pen paling, and we ended up meeting up out the prison, and I didn't really think she was gonna be there. She was. She stood there for a while, man. She stood there long enough to let me know that she was in recovery, and that scared me, so I had to hide my addiction. It was hard to hide. I kept telling her I was clean and sober, which I wasn't. I never was. I think the first 3 years of that relationship, she never knew. Or she knew and she just didn't want to know. But I went to the meetings, I did the programs, I did everything she asked me to do. But every time she went to work, I was in the pipes. I had them hid everywhere in the house, like an alcoholic, hiding bottles. It became a necessity to have a mask for everything I did, But then she caught me one day. Somebody called the house and asked, you left a message on her answer machine. Is she at work yet? And I was like, oh man. And she found out, and she knew who he was. That was a wrap, man. She put me out. She said, get your life together, call me back. I think about 10 years later, I called her. And at this time I had been in the program, in and out of recovery. I could tell you, I could quote the handbooks. I knew how to make it look like I was clean and sober, but I never inside was clean and sober. So when I did decide to get clean and sober, I called her, and I was on my way to a halfway house. And we started dating. I think we started dating a little bit too quick because I still was a little too fresh for the reality that that beast was still laying there waiting. Years went by though, and it finally did. She stood by me even though she knew I was using. She didn't kick me out the last time. The last time she stood by me, she said, you know what? Either you're gonna make it or you're gonna die. She said, but if you make it, it's on you. And so what ended up happening is, I decided, I made a decision, man. I went into a program because I was so broken. I went into this program and they told me I had a detox. I had never went through detox. I always went into a program and went there and smoked cigarettes, drank coffee. You didn't have to do none of that detox and stuff. And they put me in detox and told me, you gotta take this medication for the first week before you can go on the floor. And I said, what's this other? It says keep you from having seizures and stuff. And I said, I'm not taking no medications. I want to do this dry. I want to do nothing. I want to do no drugs. And the doctor said I couldn't do that. He said, you can't do that. You can't do it in this program. He said, we got to have you under this medication for the first 7 days. I said, I'm not going to do it then. He signed me out and I went to an AA meeting. I spent 5 years in AA clean and sober and got my life back. At least I thought. Life got good. Life got good for me then. I stayed in meetings. I followed what the group sponsor said. I did all the things necessary to remain on the street. But for some reason, that monster still was not gone. He still was hanging in there. And the more and more I fought, the more stuff I added on to keep me busy, the more and more tight it became. The space in my head was getting so tight, it was like I couldn't breathe. So I got this job working as a caseworker, and that was my relief. That right there gave me 5 more years of clean sobriety. And when it gave me that, I knew I had what it took. Because I would come out here to the same people on the streets, you know, and help them get into housing, help them get their Social Security cards, everything they needed. I walked them through it daily, and I felt good doing that. And to imagine I'll be back out here on the opposite end of it, which I know what I need to do to get out of it, but I just haven't taken a toehold. But at the end of the day, I look at it like this, man. I made some choices in my life, and the one choice I need to make is a choice for myself and not for other people, because if I'm doing it for me, I can get out of it. If I'm doing it for somebody else, I'm gonna be stuck. And right now, I'm in the midst of, I don't know if I'm doing it for me or I'm doing it for her or I'm doing it for us. I'm stuck. So it's one of those things where I'm at a crossroads. You know what I mean? And I don't know. The drugs, I don't need them. I know. I've used up to yesterday. Chris. But that's the only thing I can tell you something. Crystal meth saved me a little bit, but on the same token, that's a double-edged sword. It's a drug. It's mind, it affects the mind, you know? So, to me, it's less money spent, but I'm still homeless. So that means I'm doing something that's not right, you know? I know I gotta get rid of them. Do I need a program to do it? Nah. I know for a fact that I can put it down and walk away and not have to have it another day. It ain't like crack. I put that crack pipe down and it chased me. It chased me until I went to prison last time, and all my friends, when I got out, nobody was smoking crack. They look good. They tell me that it still is a drug that's gonna bring you to the same spot. And look, I'm back here. But I guess they know how to handle it better than I do, or what I see is what I project I see, what they want me to see. But the reality of it is, it brings you back here. It brings you back to the street. You know what I mean? If it ain't the street, it's gonna be a jail institution.
Something else, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, originally brought me too. I was addicted for a while, and then I was going down that path too. You know what I mean? I know exactly what you mean.
It's not easy.
Drugs is just one hell of a drug. You know what I mean? Everything. You know, especially all these things that they're putting in now.
Yeah.
It's
And,
bad.
and it changes you. It changes who you are. I'm telling you, I see myself every day. I'm one of those, I'm a person who like to meet different people, but at the same time, I don't have no enemies. But in my head now, everybody's an enemy. You know what I mean? So it's like, I gotta get them before they get me, or I gotta watch my back. And I've noticed my temper is so quick. Even with my girlfriend, you know, we met and she didn't see that beast. She just saw him. I know she don't like him. You know what I mean? But I try to tell her there's certain things that trigger it, and when it triggers, I don't know about the signs for your birthdays. I'm a Pisces, so it says I'm a fish sign. You know, I'm always cool until stuff, boom. You know, and it's always not the person that's in front of me that I'm mad at. It's something that's stuck way back here. You know, and a lot of it has to do with this, the lifestyle I'm living, man, and I'm not liking it.
It's just stressful.
Yeah.
It's really stressful.
And they don't make it easy here on the streets. They don't want you on the streets, but they don't want to put you in housing. So what do? They give me SSI, $900, $914 exact. I've not found a place yet in Las Vegas, Nevada, that will help me move in anyway.
His whole check, just let us go with the whole check. You know, you gotta have first, second month.
How do I come up with 3 times the rent with $900?
Deposit. I mean, and we're trying to get in right away. You know, we've already been out here long enough, but his check is not enough. And even when I had my job and his check, I was only working at Taco Bell, I was making $400 every 2 weeks. Even with those both combined together, we still be 3 months behind on trying to get in somewhere. Then you got to think about the application fee. You know, they're just it's hard. There's nowhere to get you in quick, is what I'm trying to say. You can't get in quick on low income with no help.
And then I have the biggest issue I have with the state is they want to put us in places where they're stacking us up on top of each other, like fish. Everything they tell me is, let's go down, we put you in the shelter. For what? You gonna put me in the shelter in the day and keep me out in the morning? What do I do all day? I'm stuck. I'm stuck out here in these streets, around here doing nothing. You know what I mean? I went back to school once. I started school, had to stop because I had nowhere to live. I can't run around, I can't charge my phone. They made that impossible for a human being on the planet here to plug a phone in and get a charge.
And how many, you're almost done with your degree, aren't you?
Yep. And I can't get it done, man. I'm trying to take up criminal justice, man. I wanted to work with the youth. And I watched the youth fall apart out here, and I'm like, they need me. They need me really, because I'm a prime example of what they don't want to be.
How much longer school did you have left before you would have got it?
No, I got another year left. 1 year left.
Almost there.
Yep. 1 year left.
You can't keep a phone charged. See, there's,
So what do you guys do for trying to charge your phone?
It's like my phone is, no. My phone has been dead for the last 3 days because in this area, there's nowhere to charge your phone. The buses.
So that's an everyday acquaintance.
Yeah.
That happens every day. And I'm gonna tell you something. You come out here on these streets, man, I'm gonna tell you, that's the main thing. What you're doing right now is a good thing. Because see, you wanna know the backstory. Everybody out here on the streets have a backstory. You know what I mean? And let me tell you something. You might look at a guy down the street here, and a guy down the street here, and you might think one thing, oh, he homeless, he woo-woo. Some of these cats out here are attorneys, lawyers, they got all these degrees, and if it ain't the drugs, it's the job or something. But if you smile just a little bit and hear their backstory, everybody is bad as you think. You know what I mean? Some of it is, the drugs do have an effect, but half of it ain't mental. It's not mental cases out here. There's some out here that medicate for mental illness, but there's some out here that medicate just to survive. You know what I mean? They don't.
Okay, my name is Brooke Lilly. Mine's not as good as his, but I was born in Bakersfield, California. I've basically been here all my life. We moved here when I was 2. I'm one of 7, but never raised with my actual mom. My grandma raised me, so she passed away 2021, COVID. I was her living caregiver for the last 20 years. When she died, I had to move in with my aunt. She had severe alcoholism, and which caused me, my niece, and my aunt all to become homeless last year in March. Then I think in March. So I've been homeless since, kind of not really homeless because I was able to have a job where I can pay for a storage and kind of stay in there. Most of them don't let you stay overnight, but the last one that I just had did. So I was lucky to stay, I was able to stay under the radar, and I was able to do that. But if it wasn't for him, I don't think I'd be able to make it this far because he's been my protector. So
It's definitely hard out here.
yeah, especially for a female being by yourself, because there is times that I am by myself. So kind of, you have to watch. You don't know who to trust or who to talk to. People scare you. So
You got a situation happen? The scariest ones?
a couple.
Tell me more.
I don't really want to talk about that.
So it's really hard out here for a woman?
Yeah.
So
Especially if you're not like me. I know I'm kind of like street smart, but not this street smart. This is like too raw for me. So yeah, being alone at night is scary, really scary for me.
the thing is, I try to give us some advice and give us what to look out for, what not to talk about. Guys are out here. Guys come up here all the time asking, even though they know we're in a relationship, they know who I am, they know who she is. They just talked to me prior. Then I'll go somewhere and they'll slide up. Oh, you want to smoke? You want this? And,
I stay where I don't ever go anywhere with somebody else without him there. It's always, you know what I'm saying? I've never done that, and that's just, to me, that's I feel more safe just being either where like, for instance, today we've been separated all day. But I came here because there's people, and it was in the daytime. So in the daytime I feel okay, but it's in the public, and I knew eventually he's gonna come back because he knew this is where I was. So in the daytime I feel okay, but I didn't leave the spot. I stayed here all day.
I've seen a lot of women that come out these streets and they come out here fresh and raw, and you look back about 3 months next, you'd be looking at it, wow, what happened to them?
How they changed.
Yeah, and a lot of them said the things they wouldn't do, and they wouldn't do this, and they wouldn't do that for money, and they wouldn't do that. But what ends up happening is they're forced into positions that they have no choice. And then they become mentally unstable. Or the guys have got so much control over them that they brainwash them to the point where they actually give in, man. It's women out here right now in Vegas, just out here, I guarantee you, just giving their body up, don't want to give it up. But their choices are very slim to none, you know? They do that or they out, man. And with her, I don't want that. I want a female that's gonna work. I want a female that's want to go to the job. I don't want a female that has to go out there and do that job. You know what I mean? I want to be able to go home at night and say, this my girl just got out from work. She ain't working in the streets. You know what I mean? And she's been on drugs. Most females on drugs, you think that's the first thing you think. She hasn't. And I'm trying to do everything possible to get her from out here back inside, because this is not what we want. You know what I mean? I'm not one of these guys that ain't no pimp, none of that. I'm a regular guy, old country boy, and I like that old-fashioned relationships, you know what I mean? And that's just the facts, you know what I mean? Some of these girls out here, man, I feel for them. You know what I mean? I really feel for them. You know, running around in like a zone. I don't know, man.
We've been together. Next month will be a year that we've been together, and I'm gonna say 75% of the time of that time we've been every day together. Now he does go, well, when I had the last storage where I could, because at first when we first got together and he would leave and it'd be overnight, I used to don't leave me away. You keep leaving me over, and my issue was leaving me at night. That's my number one fear, that he was being left at night. And he kept and then once I got into the last storage where I was able to, they let us stay overnight. He knew he was able to make it look like it was actually locked. So somebody was to walk, because this one you can pay for it and have 24-hour access. I did that, but we got caught sleeping there, so they took that away. So people are still in there after 10 o'clock, but it looks like it's locked, so they're not going to mess with that storage. So, and I can still get out from the inside. So once he knew that, and he knew I was safe in there, that was when another issue popped up, because then he wants to go a week, 2 weeks MIA, you know, and I understand he's out here trying to make money to get us out, but the thing is that I'm not for that long, you know. So we probably need help with our communication is the number one thing. But I think if this right here don't break us, I don't think anything can break it. This right here is the hardest thing for a relationship, because this right here is hard, let alone on being an individual. But in a relationship and you're both homeless, it's 10 times harder.
I wish this is one of the things I would just like to see, a reality TV show come out where they take real family, real couple, put them on the street for 2 months.
And see how it works.
First 90 days.
Never survive.
Yeah. First 90 days on the street.
That's how it should be called, the first 90 days on the street. Yep.
Yeah. On first 90 days on the street, I'll tell you, and follow them for the first 90 days. You don't interfere with them, but you follow them. You don't give them nothing. Give them put them out there saying, this is what you got. This is what you got in funds. This is what you got to make it off of. You know, they can have a job, they can't have a job. Well, it don't matter. Either way, put them out there for 90 days.
I'm gonna tell you
if they can make it out there 90 days, I'll applaud them.
The number one thing I take for granted is water. Water, and for the simple fact, shower and water. If I could have a gallon of water, I can shower every day. But washing my hair, that's like a necessity. Not a necessity, but when you have it available to you all the time, you take that shit for granted. I'm lucky if I can get my hair washed once a week.
That's real. That's real tough.
And then it's hard.
Planet Fitness.
I have so Planet. We were from.
You gotta get membership.
If you have Medicaid, they give you a free membership. But it takes like 2 months to actually go through the process. So my membership is with the one in Henderson. So when I first came here last week, I tried to transfer it. They said, no, you have to cancel that one over there and then walk in here and do this one. It's going to take 3 months for me to get a new membership. So I got to wait 3 months before I can go in there and shower.
She'll be going back and forth to Henderson to take a shower.
I'm going to have to go.
But either way it goes, the gyms is a good thing because they do give you the cheapest membership to get in. If you like, some of my Medicaid, some people don't have Medicaid. $10 to get membership for a month, $10 a month. That's good because you can go in there anytime during the day, one time a day, and shower. You're good. You know what I mean? So that's a good thing. They did put that forth, but like still water is a necessity out here. Some of these places in here, they just seem they want to capitalize off a cup of water.
Now that you go and say, can I get ice? The 75 cents. Well, I don't even if you, but we have our own cup, 75 cents.
That's the crazy part. They
it's
should
free.
Just give it out for free.
It's free.
It's water. And then the lady today, I'm telling you something. She got mad at me. She got mad at me. Excuse me. I said, I'm gonna get some ice. She said 75 cents. I said, okay. So ice is 75 cents. Then water's got to be free. I'll get a cup of water. I get ready to go. She said, that's 75 cents. You said ice. She said that water too. I said, so you gonna charge me $1.50 for a cup of ice water? So that's what you're charging me. You're charging me 75 for ice, and you're gonna have to charge me for water too. That's $1.50. I say, I'll see you next time.
The only place that lets you get ice and water for free is Terrible's gas station. That's the only place.
Yep, all of them. All those Terribles.
Some of them only say you can go once a day.
Yeah.
Some locations. Yeah. But there are, like the one right catty corner from here, they let you go multiple times, and they just keep giving you water, cup to get the ice. You bring your cup, you got to use their cup to pour the ice and water.
Yeah, they don't let you stick your cup under. They give you a fresh cup to use.
You can go in there more than once a day, which is really good because especially with it being so hot. But another thing is getting around if you don't have no money, getting around the buses. You might get one or two that's going to let you on, But then again, if you got carts with all, this is all our whole belongings, our life savings right here. If that, some of them ain't gonna let you on with that. So then you have to, one of us got to stay back because who's gonna watch our? I don't trust nobody to watch our stuff. His backpack just came up missing the other day. Someone took his backpack.
So
and there was multiple people out here. Yeah.
I lost the phone. I fell asleep with my phone. Woke up, and phone gone. I went to sleep. Hey, I've never thought. I wonder how people lose their shoes with the shoes on. I had it happen. I don't know how they got my shoes. I must have been that tired when I went to sleep. They got my shoes. I mean, and I woke up. Yeah, I woke up in it was 100 and something that day. It was so hot on the concrete. I was trying to get I was in Henderson. I was trying to get from the bench area to the restaurant's front door just to get some water because I was so dehydrated. Man, it took everything I had. I had to pull my pants halfway almost down my waist and put it under my feet just to get across the concrete. It was so hot. It was just burning. I was like, and then when I get there, I was so dehydrated. They called paramedics and they took me to the hospital. But it's bad. It gets bad, man. But yeah, overall, you know what I mean.
What about do you guys have any family that can contact you guys?
Well, the thing I actually have a huge family, but when my grandmother passed away, there was what she wanted. She said this to her kids, and you know, there's multiple people that knew what she wanted to be done with her ashes. Therefore, everybody wanted to do this and this and this and this and this. And since I was there 100% of the time with her, I said, no, we're going to do, this is her wishes. So my aunt, the one I moved in with, gave half of them to her brother, which is my uncle, and we kept half, and we were going to do what she wanted with those ashes. Now, because we decided to do that, me and my aunt are kicked out of the family, so we are no longer contacted, but can talk to them. We don't talk to them. I don't even know if they even know I'm homeless. That's how bad it is. Because I since my grandma died 21, and I'm not talking to anybody. Nope.
Well, my brother, I got brothers and sisters in California.
You haven't talked to them? They know you're out here?
Nah, they know. They know, man. You know, I'm saying, my mom passed a couple years ago, a few years ago. And when she passed away, this is the last thing my mom said to me. She said, don't come back to California. You have nothing here. She said, I love you. She said, stay in Vegas. Nothing to come back for. I said, but my brother and sisters, she said, you have nothing to come back for.
You haven't been back since?
Nah. Haven't been back since. I called a couple of times. You know, it has to be something. The next time they probably hear about me, I'll be on my deathbed.